Check, check. Check, check. What is up, y'all? What is up, y'all? So, what's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? Hello. So yeah, I will be drawing Betty Page, and I have some reference pulled up. Let's see if I can swap cameras here. It's a cool black and white piece, classic Betty Page, and that's what I'll be doing this evening. What's up, Michelle, Eddie? How y'all doing? She was the classic pinup model type thing, especially for like the military and World War II and all that stuff. So I don't know, I was just scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or somewhere, and it popped up, and I was like, ooh, that would be cool to draw. So I think I will do that. You should do the same image, but current. And I keep saying Betty White too, for whatever reason. That would be pretty cool. And David, I'll text you once I'm done this evening. I want to ask you a few things and see if you're open to something. So it's a surprise, but just kind of be prepared for a text from me after this is over with. So I'll just start by talking about what my thought is and how I go about grabbing an image and using it for whatever purpose I use it for. I don't know if I would use this for a tattoo. I don't like to pose that much for a tattoo, but it's cool for like anatomy practice, or maybe creating like some type of sticker or a really cool image with some font under it or something. And so when I get the short no worries, her haircut is pretty strong. Oh yeah, those, and what's the burlesque people? I think I see a lot of women with that haircut too. I'm assuming those are huge bangs up there, but yeah, they use her image a lot. But I kind of just think about the image a little bit. Like I said, I found this either early this morning today or yesterday, and I looked at it a while before I even decided this is what I wanted to draw. Some pieces do just catch me right off the bat, but then some I'll sit there and look at for a minute and decide if I want to draw it. And then if I decide, then I'll, what am I talking about here? I'll study the picture, I guess, if you will, for a minute, just to make sure, just kind of looking at different shapes and different angles and all that stuff like that. Vincent Price. Definitely, totally. Hey, what's up, Drawing Gamer? So I also look for pieces that have some sort of movement, even though, and I'll show the reference again, even though she's just kind of sitting on a beach, her neck and head kind of go this way, but then her body has a nice swooping, almost like a C curve. And I'm looking at her spine more than anything connected to her neck. So as I studied that, that's what I'm looking at. The way her head is cocked. She's got that 45-degree angle. Although she's looking at the camera, her most of her face is that way. And so I'll just start with an oval head shape and just the center line where I feel like, you know, her nose will go here, her mouth, and then her eyes are kind of separated with that center line. And then I'll just put a nice curve in here for her body. And if you just look at the movement, you can already see that image starting to take place. And then if you go in further, I start looking at landmarks and different things of that nature. So if the bottom of her chin is right here, her neck comes out here and it's in a shape of a triangle of what I can see on that reference. So this is her chin, and I'm gonna get a red pen or pencil here. Hold on for a second. And so I'm gonna use this red pen so I can show landmarks of what I'm looking at without, when I'm just usually drawing versus, I guess, kind of teaching right now. So this is her chin. And this may change, but for right now, what I'm thinking, that's where her chin is going to be. And then looking at the reference, her neck kind of falls just slightly behind her chin here. And it creates some sort of triangle shape here. And then I can pull her side of the face up like that. And again, I'm looking for reference points. So I know her shoulder clavicle bone on the other side starts around here. And again, as I start filling out and fleshing out these little anchor points, or what did I just call those? My points that I look for, they may change a little bit. So just because it's here, it may move up here a little bit, it may move down here a little bit. Same with the chin. And then I kind of give her a torso. A lot of people will do the whole oval torso, and sometimes I'll still do that. But as I keep drawing and keep learning and keep, studying different things, shapes seem to be just shaping it out right off the bat seemed to be a lot, I don't want to say easier, but it makes it less guesswork. And again, I don't even know if that's the right thing, but that's what I get out of it. So if we have her neck as a triangle here, she has her shoulder muscles right here, and then her deltoids and all that stuff, with an arm coming down here, which is just another square capped off up here. Her breast, and don't forget the muscle. And her back. And again, these are just shapes. I'm just shaping stuff out, holding the pencil really loose. Got a rib cage happening here. The other side of the rib cage. And the reason also that I chose this piece is because there was a lot of shadow, and shadows tend to help with breaking up shapes, and the way the sun is hitting something and casting shadows makes a lot of difference in helping find the shape that you're looking for. So like, this rib cage is really dominant, or prominent, I should say, because of the way the sun is hitting. So the light source is over here. It's probably way up here because it's the sun, but it's light here, and there's a huge shadow that's under here, and there's a huge shadow that's under her her head that the sun is casting, and all that helps decide what these little points that I can use as reference. So if I said her neck creates this triangle right here, as I'm looking at the reference, the shadow starts right here, kind of towards the end of where her neck starts that triangle point right here, the reference. So I know all this is black. All under here is black. And then I can look, so if I know her bikini starts right here and it comes back around, I can start with her breasts right here and just do a straight line down. So assuming her nipple is right here, and I do just a straight line coming down like that, I can just look on a reference and say, okay, what is lining up with the rest of the bottom half of her body? And if I look, her bikini starts, there's a knot that's tied somewhere around there. I can bring this up just a bit. And so all these little dots and reference points helps me figure out where things should fall. That makes sense to somebody. I felt like I just rambled on forever. And then her lower back kind of comes out here. And then this is where her bikini starts coming back up. That there, the knot. I could probably bring that up just a little more. Her belly button. some folds in her bikini bottom. And then we can stop for there. And so also I'm looking at, okay, if we got her arm over here, her elbow starts right here at the middle part of this lower back. So if I draw another line just going straight over, I know her elbow and side of the elbow there should be a bend. Whether it's a slight bend or a heavy bend, hard bend, whatever it is. And looking at the reference, her arm is coming out just a little more. And so I can't pull out more, but if you look at the reference next to what I drew, let's see here. So she's got her head kind of tilted like that. I tilted it. And then I'm looking at her spine come down. I made her spine come down. And then I just started using the rest of the reference to get what we have here. And this is fleshing out, making stuff using a reference that I have. Come to life. Well, besides all of what I'm talking about, I hope everybody is good. And then we can just put hair in. And I'm kind of just scribbling stuff. I know y'all can't see this, but and then her shoulder comes up right there. So has anyone watched WandaVision? I don't want to give any spoilers away if anyone hasn't watched it. And I don't want us to get into a deep conversation if anyone hasn't watched it. What I will say is that it was a really dope episode. If you're not watching it, you should be watching it, is what I'm saying. It is probably some of the best TV that's out there at this point right now. And yes, I'm a huge Marvel fan, whatever, but I think just the fact of the way it's written, obviously in that old TV series type style, it's just different. It's refreshing. I'm not upset that they explained what was happening a lot sooner than I know a lot of people were upset about that, but I think it's great. We're up to date. Damn, I know that last episode.
The best way to burn fat is with more
Doing
fat.
okay, looking forward to
being
getting
serious,
vaccinated
because
whenever they.
different types of fat.
Yeah, same, man.
One is white fat, and that's probably hanging out in your belly right now. It's extremely hard to get rid of. And then there's a lesser.
I think I might like it better than Mando
And this
season
is
2.
fat.
Oh, David, I seen you had posted that
Like fat.
on Facebook, and I was like,
We discovered that adults have much less
But-
active brown fat on their bodies.
To be honest, I can probably agree with that. I think the only thing for Mando the last season was the whole Luke thing, right? In R2. But without that, yeah, I'm gonna shoot for WandaVision is pushing that right out the top spot. It's such a great show. And so right now I'm kind of just either correcting or going over lines that I feel that are where they need to be. So after looking at like my reference points and all that stuff like that, I'm pretty satisfied to where at least her torso is. Like I hadn't started on her face or anything like that, but from where her torso sits, I'm pretty happy with where it's going for right now. So with that said, I'll just start coming in and, like I said, either fixing, adjusting, or going over some of the lines that I've already put down. And so I know there's shadows and stuff happening. I usually or typically just draw the shape of the shadow. And I know I've went over that before several times. She's got to shine a really highlight right there. Mando 2 season was good, but WandaVision is hitting something I didn't know. Yeah, cameo versus cameo, Mando wins. Other than that, yeah, I agree. I like the fact that they're pulling in other characters from the other movies. I mean, just everything is just really good. They got a winner on their hands with this one. I think that's all I've been watching, though. There's nothing new, nothing that I had been, I guess, paying attention to. Oh, yes, sir, I did. Man, I cannot wait for that joint right there. Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Bruh, that's going to be ridiculous. The connection to shows we watched as kids probably allows for a much deeper connection. Oh, yeah, I totally agree. And I think, me and my girlfriend were talking the other day, and I think, you know, at this rate, Marvel will just crush DC. Like, I don't think there's no coming back from this. And I know we've talked about this before, but because there are new shows coming out, and it seems like they just keep elevating what's happening. I'm not sure, how DC is going to recover from this. Yeah, I seen it. I think I seen it during the Super Bowl or after the Super Bowl or something. And yeah, that second trailer was just, oh man, I was what? I have been watching reruns of The Fresh Prince though. I feel like that show has aged well. Because, you go back and look at some sitcoms and you're just like, why did I find this interesting or funny or whatever? But I have to admit, The Fresh Prince has aged really well. And then with the shadows and shading, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here since we're kind of focused on her chest. I'll do like little circles. And as I get out here to where it starts to fade out, I'll just let go of the pressure. So, and I know I've went over this before too. So if we make some blocks here. So I typically tell people to draw with the back of the pencil, but I've been doing this enough to where I can kind of choke up on it without going dark immediately. So I'll just start with one way, like that, and then I'll come back down and go the other way. And here, I'm pressing a little harder. And then as I get up here, I'm pressing with the pencil lighter. So not only am I doing a cross-hatching type of style, I'm also using pressure. And as I get up here, I kind of let go of that pressure. And let go of the pressure. And you start getting a fade. And sometimes I'll start with cross hatching. And then I'll go into little circles. And again, it's the same thing though. So like, again, with the little circles down here, I'm pressing a little harder. And then as I get up here, I'll go lighter. And these are just squares. So it just depends on, again, looking at your reference and where the light source is hitting. So right here, we know this is her breast, and here it's very dark down in here. So I'll just press a little harder with little circles, but as I get out here, I'll just let off the pressure just a little bit as I keep going out here until I'm not even touching the paper anymore. And the same with this, you know, I'm barely touching the paper. There's so much of no pressure being held right there. But when I get in here, I want to hit that pressure pretty hard to obviously make it darker. Alright, let's see. They just need to get the hell over it and release Black Widow movie. Yeah, for real, man. I hope DC learns from Anime Division, from Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Actually Light 19. Oh yeah, that was really good. And focus on making fun movies. Superman should not be door. If you make a goth Superman movie, then you do not fucking understand. For real. How does the Fresh Prince hold up? Yeah, I exactly. It's poignant. I think it's still relevant to what stuff that's going on. You know, the certain episodes, like when he doesn't have his dad, and Carlton and Will get pulled over by the cops. And as I'm watching it, yes, some of it is very childlike and very goofy, but Uncle Phil being the head of the household type thing and kind of just wrangling Will and Carlton, it holds up for me. Early, The Office is cringy as fuck. The Fresh Prince is still sharp. Yeah. Lavender Dreams. Have you done any animation? Not recently. Honestly, not since school. Honestly, I didn't care for animation to tell you the whole truth. I only chose animation as my major because the military was paying for school. Other than that, I'd have went straight illustration. But they were, like I said, they were paying for it, and my counselor was under the influence that animators made all the money and you couldn't be a successful illustrator these days, which is one is totally wrong, but I can see where people get that whole starving artist thing from. So I guess in her mind, she didn't want me to be a starving artist. And I can appreciate it. I mean, it's not like I didn't learn anything. It's not like I didn't work in an industry and all that fun stuff, but it just wasn't for me. There's a lot of over and over type things with animation that I just have no and I don't even want to say patience, because I think I'm a patient type of dude. It just didn't move me, you know. And especially like the stuff that the animation studio that you get hired for. So like, you know, we see all these cool Disney behind the scenes where that dude is drawing and the animator is doing his thing. Right out the gate, you're not getting those jobs. One, the dude that they're showing in them videos has been there for years. So the job you're going to get is, and they were trying to get me to work at whatever studio is doing Archer. And I don't think Archer is on. They might be doing a new season now. But they wanted me to do Archer mouth movements. And I'm just like, nah, I'm not doing that. So what would have happened is that I would have been in my cubicle with headphones on, listening to the actor speak and do his dialogue, and my only job would have been is putting mouth shapes where he's talking. And heck, the way animation is now, there's really no drawing for it. So, you know, you have the concept artist, and again, whoever that is, that person's been either with the studio for a long time, or they've been doing that long enough to where the name is known in the industry, and, you know, it's like, oh, let's get Dave on this project because I worked with him at another project or whatever. And granted, you know, that's how things work, right? You got to put your time in. There's no skipping a line, but I just wasn't willing and didn't want to do all that. So, yeah, I didn't do animation. I did 3D modeling is what I was really focused on. All right, I'm kind of just doing some shading, really. And so now I'm kind of just looking at the reference and then looking at what I got here, and making some decisions, really. She has a really hard line shadow that's right here. And so it's kind of dark up here and then it fades out a little bit. But she still has her rib cage that comes right up here. With another shadow down in here. This is a little lit, but there is still some shadow happening. And so I'm just really drawing out very lightly the shapes of all these shadows. Excuse me. And once I'm done drawing those shapes out, then that's when the magic happens. And then again, I still sit back and look at it. I may take like a few seconds or maybe a few minutes to kind of look at and see what's happening. And if I'm happy with where this is going, then I'll just kind of go in and start shading. So like here, I feel like this is down just a little too far. And so this is where it's at now. If I draw a straight line, her bottom of her rib cage should be like where this part of the back is. So now I draw another line and just move it up some. Maybe I don't want to go that high. I'll just leave it like that. And because I'm drawing so light, I don't need to erase this because I know this will get covered in some shading at some point. So I'm not concerned with that. And this comes up like that. Do you feel like animation has become more dead over the last 10 years, like in an artist's spiritual way? There's two things to that. So when you say dead, do you mean, obviously it's dead as far as the traditional hand-drawn stuff. Because to me that has a certain feel to it, right? Like, you know, someone sat there and drew each of those frames over and over and over. And now you have like the computer stuff, which like Pixar and them guys are doing. But then you also have computer stuff, like I said, like Archer, where there's very little animation. But it's still animation. So yes and no, I think it's dead. As far as like the traditional guys and, you know, just that nostalgia of it being truly animated, quote unquote. Because again, it's moving art is animation, but it's not like what those old guys were doing at Disney with like Cinderella and all that stuff. And if you look, sometimes I'll even still hold the pencil back here. And again, I do this without even knowing. Like if I'm not talking about art or explaining what I'm doing, I'll do it without even knowing. And I think I've done it so much, again, I do it out of habit. But in my mind, as I'm thinking about and explaining it now, I do it because I know I don't want to press too hard doing the shading part here. So I'll just pull it back right off the rip. And again, it just forces me not to press hard.
If you're trying to lose belly fat, stop doing cardio. Sounds backwards, right? Well, believe it or not, it's actually true.
I mean, I'll take this
Stop
part
spending hours
because I know this is really dark here.
Running on the treadmill 5 or 6 days a week gets most people.
And it's kind of dark up here too. So I'll just run over this whole thing.
Because it never has. And I know that's hard to believe, but it's true. Cardio actually burns calories, usually in the
YouTube with the
form of
ads.
bloodstream that.
Oh, that reminds me, I have to dig it up, but there's a video game studio that's making all the levels and it's really cool. Oh yeah, please, if you find it, send it to me. That would be pretty interesting to take a look at. And, you know, I can appreciate companies like Netflix and some of the others that are doing some indie animation projects, and because I still stay in touch with a lot of those folks that are in the industry, and you know, it's kind of not a real good time, but a good time if, you know, you got a group of people that want to start like their own animation studio, and if you do good work, you know, Netflix is constantly picking up new animation series and stuff like that. I mean, look at like South Park and hell, The Simpsons still running. So yeah, I don't think it's dead per se, but as far as like the old school stuff, yeah, I think it's that is gone. I mean, you may have one or two that come out, and I mean, you still have anime. But those cats is cranking out anime like it ain't nothing. So they've been doing it for a while, and it just they have a formula, you know. Characters look like the same characters that they used for this, and it's anime is just a whole nother beast, to be honest. Pacific Rim anime on Netflix looks really Huh, I didn't see that. Is it up now or is it coming or what? MKFC is super good. I'll put that on a list. Considering the speed of media consumption, I suspect it would be nearly impossible to keep up with the demand. Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, heck, that was one of the main reasons for studios like that to close the doors. I mean, there's just no way for them to keep up with technology. You know, when I was in school, we had to, so we took 2D animation and 3D animation, and then towards the end of the school, you had to pick if you wanted to do a 2D film or a 3D film. And with 3D, you know, you create a character, you get someone to model it, and then you're good. You know, you don't have to draw that character ever again. Now you have to animate it, of course, but there's nothing else you got to do. You know, with 2D, you have to draw those movements over and over and over. I went 2D, but I cheated a little bit. And I actually got into almost a yelling argument with one of my professors because he didn't like my choice of animation style. But it's so true. The technology and how fast you can, you know, make a movie or a short film on a computer versus, you know, someone actually sitting down drawing it. It's unbelievably faster. There's no doubt about it. But here I'm kind of just going back and forth with all different types of methods, if you will. There's some cross-hatching, there's some little circles being made. But again, when up here, you know, the pressure, again, I'm putting a lot of pressure because that needs to be darker. But as I get out here to, there's really no pressure. And I want that to fade out into nothing, if you will. And since this is a big area, I'm kind of just jumping all over the place, if you will. But I'm still looking at my reference and making sure I got the shapes of the shadows that I want and where I want them to hit. And then I'll just stay in the area for a little bit, do some bigger circles, but really light. Like here, it's a little, so what's happening right here is that her bikini is really tight around her chest right here. And it's causing skin to fold out right here. And so with that folding out, light is hitting her skin, which is really light. but right under it, it's casting a shadow. So I want to show that because I think when I see a lot of people drawing, whether it's portraits or whatever, they miss those little details. And it's not a really big detail, but it's a good enough detail that needs to be in there. Honestly, I don't know what makes me look at those different details like that. And not only looking at them, actually putting them in there. I don't know, to me, that sells the art. It sells that piece. It sells what word am I looking for? I have to think about it, but it's selling this, right? This whole section right here. And this is probably my favorite section to draw on man or woman, is just this section of the torso. Like, I'm not big on drawing breast and all that stuff. This is probably my favorite part to draw. Just because there's a lot happening there. Like, your body rotates on this thing right here itself. And then the ribs and all that stuff, the way stuff casts and shadows and all that stuff falls. I just love this part of the body. Coming, I think, March 4th, Pacific Rim, the Black. All right, cool. I will definitely, let me write that down. Pacific Rim. And then what did the other person say? MKFZ. Look up. And out. So, what do you guys think about the new Coming to America 2? I mean, I'm gonna watch it for the culture. I gotta watch it, but some of the scenes from the trailer look pretty funny. Yeah, I want to check it out too. Never saw the. Yo, you never seen the first Coming to America? Bruh. Put that on your to-do list, man. I am holding your parents accountable for this. That you have not seen that movie. It's such a classic. Definitely not like a favorite movie or anything like that, but Definitely something that should be viewed at least once. Now, to be honest, I watch that joint every time I'm on if I ain't doing something, but and it'll typically be on just in the background anyway, but it's so good. Just Eddie Murphy alone doing all the characters is enough to watch it. And so now she has this shadow that her nose and hair is making on her chest. But I can't stress enough for people to draw the chest. Like, a lot of artists will be so focused on drawing breast versus the chest. It so bothers me that I almost want to say something. Whether they're posting it or they're just showing me. Like, if someone is showing me their artwork and they want to critique, I will definitely say something about it. But I typically don't say too much when someone is posting their artwork or something on like Instagram or wherever. But I think this part is the chest. It's the muscles. Like, women have muscles just like men have. And people forget to draw this so much. It just bothers me. Because it looks weird if you don't have the chest in there. I don't know how else to explain that. It just looks really weird to me when the chest is not drawn on especially women. And I am sorry for that small rant, but it bothers me. Oof. And so now, again, I'm looking at reference points. And so if her chin is right here, there's a gap between where her collarbone is sitting and there's a small little light source under here, or light is hitting this little section of her neck, and it's everything else around is really dark. And for me, those are again, kind of like this little thing, that stuff is the little detail that I love to do. part of me almost wants to watch the original and the new one as. Oh yeah, that would be dope. That's a must. I think it's because I'm 24, so a little before. Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, I kind of figured maybe that was the case, but I made my kids watch it, so there's that. And as I'm doing this, I'm thinking this might make a pretty decent tattoo. A cool black and gray, and then add color to just her bikini might be pretty dope. But that's another time. And so since I know this is all black up here, or not like pure black, but shadow, I can go in really light over everything. And then since I went that way, I'll come back and do this way. Then I can go up and down. And so I got a pretty cool base over it. And then I'll start looking like, okay, near this edge is a little darker than some of this stuff in here. So I'll kind of just take my time and do some little circles here and there to darken that edge up just a bit. And then let go of that pressure. Add some more pressure, let go of some pressure. Add some pressure, let go of some pressure. It's really dark here, so I can kind of lean in on some of the dark. And then also the more you go over a section too, so like if I don't apply any pressure, if I just keep going over this and over this and over it, it'll get darker as well. But I obviously don't want that because that's not what the reference looks like. So I'll dance around in this area a little bit. Kind of come down here, and again making the edges of this shadow darker. And also with using this mechanical pencil, you'll just have to, learn that you can only press but so hard before that lead snaps. And it happens to me a lot. So just because it hadn't happened yet, and just because I'm talking about it, it will snap soon. Where's your tattoo parlor? No, I'm in Atlanta, right in the heart of Buckhead. It's called Apocalypse Tattoo. And honestly, I am not a Cali fan. I've been there a few times. It wasn't for any type of pleasure. When I was in the military, and it was mainly, we were in a desert, so yeah, there was no pleasure. But I am not saying I wouldn't want to visit, but I definitely wouldn't want to live in California. Just, I don't know, something about the vibes, I guess, I'm not feeling. Hey, I'm back. What up? What up? Cruise? And again, so I'm picking different reference points, right? So she's got these bangs that kind of hang, and they stop, and then the rest of her hair kind of comes down this way. Her ear is right here. But this little reference point is what I'm looking at. And how if I draw a diagonal line, the corner where her hair starts pulling down, there's a line right there. And again, these little reference points, I obviously don't put them in when I'm actually drawing for a client or something like that, but I'm just putting these in to show you all that this is the stuff that I'm looking at in my mind that helped me get a piece done, if you will. because I don't know how this is gonna be, everything I'm drawing really light. Her eyes kind of follow the horizon of her hairline and all that. So everything is like this. So eyes, nose, mouth is what those lines represent. Now her chin comes in a little bit. It's kind of flat here, so we can just make that come up there like that. And so typically when you're drawing eyes, there should be, like if you were drawing a head straight on like that, I'll zoom in a little bit. If you're drawing a face, you got the center line, eyes, nose, mouth, and the nose is like this. On the corner of each nose is where an eye should start, right? The corner of the eye. And inside there should fit another eye. So that's typical, just layout. You know, if you're drawing a straight on character, sometimes the mouth corners kind of start just slightly within the corner of the normal eye. So you have the corner and you have the little, right, that's typical. But because we have the 3/4 turn or the 45, you can still put an eye here and then the other eye, but this one is always going to look smaller in length because the way the head is turned. I just figured you're a successful tattoo artist, so that's where you would. I couldn't be here for the university. You couldn't be here for the university. What's that mean? Yeah, no, I mean, I think you can be, you know, a successful tattoo artist anywhere, honestly. I think that's what is really appealing to me as a tattoo artist. Like, I can go anywhere and tattoo. I think for the most part, it's just the hustle, you know? I mean, you have to hustle. Like, there's no, cutting a line. Again, that's my saying for 2021 too. There's no cutting a line. You have to hustle. But you can honestly tattoo anywhere. Now you'll have to get licenses and all that stuff to tattoo in different states, but I mean, tattoo artists kind of do what they want to do, so there is that.
Here's Big Game Ads on AdBlitz, a YouTube exclusive.
And I think as I keep pulling back and looking at this, I think her head is just a little too big for her body. And so that's another thing. So there's this, I forget the head ratio rule. I think it's like 12 or 15 heads, and you have your head, your torso. So everything should fit within 12 or 15 heads. And when you're just focusing on a certain, so I was just focusing on her torso like this. Let me pull out a little bit. So as I'm looking, I think this here is fine. It might be all right. Let me keep on. It can probably come down some, or maybe it's just her hair is too big or something. Something looks off to me. Yeah, I think it might be just her hair. I still might be able to work it. But saying all that, I shouldn't have went in as hard as I did to start. I should have done more light work, if you will, with the pencil versus going straight in and laying down hard lines. Yes, I'm still listening.
Testosterone is what makes a man a man. But if you're eating foods that raise your estrogen,
Shut up. How often do you do these live sessions? Typically once a week, every Tuesday. and it won't be free after today. It's usually for my Patreon audience, so I just felt like I wanted to put it on Instagram and get some people over here. Have you ever tried a stick and poke tattoo? Yeah, when I was in the military, when I went to Desert Storm, I'd done a lot of people poke and stick tattoo. I had no clue what I was doing. But as far as like professionally using the real tool, no. Yeah, I think her head is way too big. Now that I'm looking at it, I pull back some. So we have these planes happening here. And so again, I'm just drawing in these shapes. I'm not gonna mess with her face anymore. And so to make that shine really shine, I get really dark next to the shine to make it pop. And then I'll just fade out a little bit around here because it's dark along the edge here. And what's making it dark, the edge, is the background is making it dark because the background is light. I forget what that's called. They taught us that in school. That there's really no edges on things. Everything plays with everything in space, if you will. And so there's really no edge on her. It's the lighting from the background to the foreground and the middle ground is what's creating this line. I forget what it's called, but it's something.
YouTube Originals presents Life in the
I
Day.
really like the detail.
July 25th, 2020, the world came together.
Yeah, it's really cool, but it's definitely an art to that, and
Produced by
I don't have the patience for that. Although I do have patience, I don't have patience for that.
filmed by you. YouTube
But yeah, y'all, that's it.
only on YouTube. Watch now.
I appreciate y'all for hanging out. I may pick this back up. I don't know, because I went too far dark with the eyes and stuff. So I feel like I would just need to redo it. I wouldn't try and erase that or start making movements and adjustments. I would just redo the whole piece over. But yeah, so I will start going back, posting for my Patreon folks, start being unlisted again. And I may release them like a week or two after the Patreon people have seen it live. It's really live for them. So if you want, to sign up for my Patreon, it's the Mad Penciler. And there's different tiers you can sign up for, so check that out. I go live usually every Tuesday. I usually skip one Tuesday a month just to take a break, but since COVID, I kind of been doing it on a regular every Tuesday. So and you know, during these sessions, you can ask me anything. What my pet cat name is, whatever. School, career. This is where I really like to just talk with artists, and even if you're not an artist, right? We just kind of vibing and chilling, but you can ask me any art questions. Most people that are my Patreon, they'll message me on Patreon, ask me art questions, kind of go in detail with folks. And you know, it's just for people that pay. You know, I mean, to be honest, they get a little more of Wayman than most people would. Not be able to have access to me like that. Oh, I see something I could do here. Could probably pull that hair in some too. Yeah, I'm still looking at this, but yeah, Patreon every Tuesday at 8:30. I usually go for an hour and a half, something like that. I do a lot of drawing, a lot of modeling stuff, sketchbook tours, all that stuff people don't get to see on Instagram or any other place on social media that I am, Facebook and all that. Patreon is for those folks, and they get a lot more of me. So if you hadn't, sign up, and we'll do this again next Tuesday. Oh, thanks for hanging out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next week.